This is episode 41, and today we're talking about business due diligence. What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in. Today we're talking about business due diligence. It's important to understand what it means for due diligence. I always say this is the best time to be in business and potentially buying business, because the numbers are showing that the majority of people that own businesses are baby boomers, and they're looking to retire. They don't necessarily have succession plans. So if you're an entrepreneur looking to buy businesses, you can potentially buy a lot of businesses and grow your empire from just literally nothing to something. But when you're looking to buying businesses, because I'm always an advocate of buying businesses versus starting businesses, because you can skip that failure stage. But when you look to buy businesses, it's important to understand what due diligence is. There are two types of due diligence. There's an accounting due diligence and there's a legal due diligence. Accounting due diligence is primarily just making sure that the numbers are adding up. You have to ensure that the numbers that they have, first they have a financial plan, they've been filing their taxes, they actually have bank accounts for the money they're doing. They're not just stuffing the money under their bed or putting it into a bank vault, and they're putting it into a little small safety deposit box or whatever they're doing. Make certain that the money's actually been done right and they're actually doing what they're supposed to do from a number-wise perspective. Then there's a legal due diligence, which is a little bit more in depth. A legal due diligence requires them, do they actually own the business? A lot of times people that are running the business, trying to sell the business, don't own the business, or the business will never transfer to them properly. They're running the business for someone who may have passed, or they're running the business for someone that's not even there. So they're selling the business to you, but they don't necessarily have authority to sell the business. So you want to make certain that the people that actually are selling the business are the right people involved. Also, do they actually own the logos? Do they actually own the trademarks? Do they actually own the brands? Many other things. Also, when it comes to due diligence, it's important to look at the actual contracts. Look at all the contracts. Do they actually have a lease that's going to run up? Or when you buy the business, will the lease still be going on for a number of years? Because you don't want to buy a business when the lease is going to run up and the landlord says, okay, it's time for you to get out. Now all of a sudden you don't have the location that you want. A lot of businesses are location specific. They're put in these locations because they'll thrive in these locations. So you want to make certain that the leases are in order. If it comes to they actually own the business, have they been paying their property taxes? Have they been paying their payroll taxes? I mean, these are many things that are very important when buying a business. And due diligence overall is an investigation into the business. So when you're buying a business, you just don't want to take face value what the person says or what the business broker is saying. You want to do your own investigation into everything. The business broker job is to help facilitate that. If they're representing a buyer, then either you or you can hire an attorney to help with the legal due diligence or with you help buying the business. But it's a strong investigation into the business. What else? As I mentioned, contracts. A lot of times businesses have clients. Can that contract with that client be transferred to you when you own the business? A lot of times, what they say, a lot of times these businesses have big clients. So pretty much 80% of their business is coming from 20% of their clients. So if they sell that business, well, that big client come over. If you are a marketing company and then you have big clients, if that person sells the business, you have to have a non-compete clause. So basically the owner that just sold you the business, he can't just start a business down the street or in the same city as you and compete and take all those clients away. So you have a non-compete clause. Also, if you have some star employees, or if you have a president, a good strong employee or president that's running the business, will that person stay over? Because a lot of times these owners they're just hands off. They just own the shares or they own the membership interest of the LLC or the shares of that corporation, and they're just hands off owners. So if the business gets sold to you, will those star employees come over as well? So that's important. Also, when it comes to equipment, do you have contracts that can be transferred to you? Because say, for example, you're in construction, you have to use these big, heavy equipment. Can that be transferred over to you? Or you may be maybe in truck drivers or whatever it may be. There's many contracts involved. So the main key is that when it comes to the legal due diligence is making certain that the contracts can be transferred over to you. As I mentioned, it can be leasing, it can be employee, it can be client contracts, it can be many contracts. Making sure those contracts can be transferred over to you because you are the new owner. As I mentioned, trademarks and logos. If you buy a fashion brand, the trademarks and the logos are very important to fashion brands, and the name, the logo, all of that is important. So can that be transferred over to you? Do they actually own the trademarks? Do they actually own the brands? Also, art. I just did a whole entire video on art law. Can all the paintings, at least the consignment agreements, be transferred over to you, the new owner? It can be many things. And the idea is that you'll either be buying the membership interest into that company, or you'll be creating your own company, and that company will be buying that company. It can be many things you can do when it comes to buying a business. As I mentioned, I can't say it enough. This is probably one of the best times to be in buying businesses. As I mentioned, you can pick an industry, and you can just buy all those businesses in that industry, and then you can consolidate them. You can reduce redundancies. You can buy in bigger bulks and get cheaper prices, and then you can sell that entire business later on a couple years from now. You have to have an exit strategy when it comes to buying a business. Before you go into the business, have some way, okay, how do I plan on getting out of this business at some point? Do I plan on selling it? Do I plan on taking it public on the stock market? Do I plan on passing it down to the next generation of my heirs? It can be many things, but it's important to have an exit strategy because business requires an exit strategy. So this has been episode 41. I hope you enjoyed it. We talked about a lot. We talked about legal due diligence. We talked about accounting due diligence. We talked about important of making sure taxes are paid. If the business you're buying is an LLC, or the business you have is an LLC, you'll have to fill out a Schedule C, which will deduct all your taxes, including legal services. Legal services are tax deductible. So there's many things that are tax deductible. The rent, the employees. There's many things that are tax deductible. The gas you're paying, if you are, like, for example, you are a real estate agent and part of your job is driving to different parts of the city, the gas, a certain mileage on it is tax deductible. So there's many things that can be involved with paying your taxes. But we talked about a lot in this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we're one step closer to 1,000 episodes. Thanks.
See, you want the fame and I want the chain. We ain't got the same focus. I came in the game with my own